Welcome back, F1 fans, to Hitting the Apex. You guys are going to be excited. The pit crew is full today. All right, your favorite person is back on the show, and we've got a lot to talk about. We got some interesting things to go over. Of course, we will recap a little bit of Singapore, the Singapore GP. We'll get into the Japanese Grand Prix that's going to happen this weekend, which none of us are going to watch, and none of you are going to get a post game show, post race show. But anyways, we'll recap a little bit of Singapore, preview the Japanese GP, and we will get into this budget cap gate that everybody wants to know about. What's going to happen with Red Bull and Max Verstappen. Make sure you keep it locked right here on Hitting the Apex. Lights out. Let's go. Did we have a remix there? Was that the remix of the song?
That's the same button I hit every time, unless someone came in behind me and like switched it without telling me, which I can't imagine anyone did.
Oh, so weird, but I like it. It was a remix, baby. Well, welcome back to Hitting the Apex here. Joined as always by Vish, but we are joined by the favorite member of the pit crew, the legendary, the amazing Moni Lebro. What's up, Moni? How are you? By the way, she's a trooper because she's still under the weather, but she's here with us tonight for a little bit. So bear with her as she sounds, a little raspy today.
I sound ridiculous, you guys. But just try, pay attention to the content, but not to my voice. Just the content, at least for today. Next week, you can pay attention to both things, okay?
Well, Jack did donate money to we got the whole. Everyone's here. Fernie, Jack, and Evan, so we got everyone. This is a full house today.
This is awesome, man.
All of our people are here.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Jack gave us money to our hurricane relief drive on the Kane show just to have Moni show back up. So
yeah, he did.
We delivered, man. We delivered.
We did. We got you covered there, Jack, man. Man, we got a crazy show today. I didn't even realize it until I spoke to you, Vish, earlier. You just got in from DC here in Miami. Moni's under the weather, and this is just so on top of it being a crazy show, it's just been crazy everything. So we're excited to get this thing going. Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze.
Yeah, it's going around. You're virtually infecting him, Moni.
I'm sorry.
I'm in Miami now. I literally just got off a plane and got home and immediately did this.
Yeah, it's crazy. Singapore GP, guys. Let's kind of break it down a little bit. Moni, we never got your predictions, by the way. But now you can't tell me that you had Checo winning, okay?
No,
I
didn't.
Oh man,
I would have allowed it. By the way, Jazz. We didn't discuss whether we would allow her to say Checo winning because that is the default. So.
Yeah, I know.
He wasn't even like my top 5 for Singapore. I'm not even you, okay?
All right.
Hey, Elaine, I see your question. I'm not exactly. He wants to just do a treatise on Haas.
Yeah. How do we feel about them? We love them. They're an American team.
They're the American team.
That's about it. Vish, as I take care of some stuff there, talk to me a little bit about how you felt about Singapore, and then Moni will throw it right to you.
Well, if Moni's ready, she can go. Everyone are.
Ready, Moni? She was about to take a swig of water, man. Get it ready.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Whatever you guys want to do, kind of talk a little bit about Singapore and how you felt about the race. I know it was a wild one. Lots of action, lots of crazy things going on.
Dale, Vish. You go.
Okay. My takeaway is George Russell showed his quality. Finished 2 laps down. That was the highlight probably of my season this season. Watching him screw up left and right, hitting people and blaming them. We got the full experience. No, but actually, Checo's been struggling, and that was a big, big performance from him. He's always been very good on the tires, and that was a tire management race, and he was perfect. And you could tell how much he was managing the car because when he got the penalty, which we can talk about as well, because feels like the penalty was reverse engineered to make sure he didn't lose. But when when he got the penalty, they're like, you need to open up 5 seconds. Boom, did it. No problem. So he was just managing the car perfectly. And I think when Leclerc, pressured him for several laps before he had to drop back, because I think he kind of burned his tires out trying to pass him. But Checo had this thing in control. So to me, that's the takeaway in the race is he took control from the beginning and controlled the entire race while his teammate was punting around the track, actually. So kind of a role reversal there. But Checo was perfect in that race, and he hadn't been driving well at all. So it's a big, big drive for him.
Yeah, so I agree with everything you said, Fish. I'm really happy for Checo. I know that this is definitely a very big push for him, uh, not only in terms of his confidence, but also I feel like it's a good moment for him to kind of hold on to some type of momentum to see what he can do, let's say in Japan, and maybe even for the rest of the season. Because I'm also thinking about just how how small the gap is between him and Leclerc. So, in terms of the of points in the drivers' championship, so I think I'm getting a little bit ahead in terms of show content, but that's something that I'm going to watch out for, like the rest of the season, and obviously Japan and the rest of the season is what ends up happening with Checo and Leclerc in terms of the standings. But I actually read a really interesting article. I think it was on the F1 page. Can't remember very well. And it was about Checo and how this the journalist, like the guy that wrote the article, he was, as soon as Checo won the GP, he thought about the Ghostbusters because of the song. He was like, "Oh, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters." So that it gave him the feeling with like Red Bull that every time Max, for whatever reason, maybe under the weather, X, Y, or Z, who are you gonna call? Checo. And this is like the perfect example. Except that I feel with Checo at times it's a bit of a flip of a coin. I'm not sure if he's going to perform or not, and this time it was a time that he was able to perform.
Yeah, as both of you mentioned, I think Checo really drove brilliantly this past weekend. And like you mentioned, Vish, he held off, he defended Leclerc, you know, perfectly, right? And what's funny, what we didn't realize, I think initially, was how much more pace he still had in that car, and how he was able to separate once they told him he was going to have a penalty that he needed 5 seconds. He won by over 7 seconds. So it was a really, really, really extraordinary drive by Checo. So you got to give him credit. I think he drove great. That being said, the Ferraris did all right, right? 2 and 3 for Ferrari. So that's good for them as well. I think that overall performance by the top 2 or 3, I think was light years better than everybody else, right? Like the rest of the field was just so far behind.
Shout out to Danny Rick though.
Yes. Hey, listen,
finding his way up the top to the grid when everyone else screwed up.
I wore the McLaren hat, baby. I had to give him.
He went full tortoise. I still cannot believe, they have the safety car. He pit at the same lap of Lando, so he started right behind him. By the end of the race, 32 seconds behind Lando.
Yep, unbelievable.
He is so slow. I can't. He finished 5th, so it's like, yes.
P5, baby, from McLaren. He got the point.
32 seconds. He lost 32 seconds with like 15 laps to his teammate.
Also, how many got a DNF, by the way? Like 5?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, so somehow George Russell still managed to anger me. Jazz and I were texting about this because my surprise prediction was he DNFs, and I'm like, this ass is driving around 2 laps down. Retire the car,
already. I know.
Retire the car, and he finished the race. Oh God, that guy just like lives to annoy me.
I think he does it on purpose. He knows. I
was like, come on, you got to retire the car. You're 2 laps down, and he finished it. So,
listen, he can't let the George Russell fanboys down, man. He can't let them down. So they got something to tweet about later.
So Moni referenced it, so I went ahead and pulled up the driver's standing. So yeah, that Leclerc Perez 2 points.
2 points separates them. How do you feel the way the Ferraris did this weekend, Vish?
I mean, there was two different Ferraris, right? Because Sainz actually said after the race, like, he was not comfortable with the grip and he was just not comfortable pushing. That's why he fell so far back.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was two. Leclerc was on it, but he couldn't match Checo's pace, and then there was a big gap back to Sainz in third.
Right.
So no, I mean, the Ferraris got what they needed out of the race. I mean, I think the goal is probably to finish second in both championships. So they did lose ground to Checo a little bit there. I mean, Max is obviously going to win the.
Yeah. Do you think he wins in Japan, as Razor Wolf said there? We got some new people today there. Lion, Razor Wolf. Appreciate the love. Yeah. Do you think he wins it in Japan?
So we'll talk about that later. He needs to gain. He needs to gain 8 points on Leclerc and 6 on Checo, because Checo can technically still win the title too.
So he's got to win by 8 points.
Well, he's got to get 8 points over Leclerc and 6 over Checo. There's many ways he can do that. You could finish 5th and Leclerc could DNF, right? So he needs to gain 8. But if he wins and gets fastest lap, he's guaranteed champion.
Gotcha.
So that's the way he can do it all by himself. But we're not going to spend the next 2 hours going through all the permutations. Like if Max finishes 3rd and Checo finishes 9th or whatever.
No, who cares about that?
If he wins and gets fastest lap, it's definitely locked in. It's probably going to be more dependent on Leclerc's performance. If Leclerc can't finish second, then there's a very good chance Max, wins it there.
Who's your driver of the day, my people? Moni, we'll start with you on that.
Well, I don't get to do this very often, all right? So I'm going to have to go the basic way out. Okay, don't get mad at me. All right, just let me be basic whenever I can be basic, all right? I want to say my driver of the day was my dearest Checo Perez, Sergio Checo Perez. I mean, it's no secret to anyone that he had such a good race. I don't think that just from practice and from qualifying, I don't know if I would have felt comfortable having very high expectations for Checo, just because I've learned the hard way. But as far as the race, I mean, it was a great race for him. I wish he was a bit more. I wish he was a bit more consistent in terms of getting those very nice results throughout the season. But at least for the Singapore GP, I'm gonna have to go with driver of the day, Checo.
Yeah, I think I have to agree as driver. Oh, it's Daniel Ricciardo. No, I'm just kidding. It's
I mean, P5, man. He drove from 16th to 5th.
That's my second option, to be honest.
No, he was terrible and got lucky with the safety car. Like, he was so far off the pace that, like, just keep driving. It doesn't matter. And then
whatever. It's fine. We'll take it. Yeah, Checo's definitely
I would say, honorable mention is actually, I would give it to Lando. He was sticking with Sainz.
Yes.
He had good pace throughout the race, and also Vettel had a really good race too.
Where did he end up again? Was it P7 or 8?
He got passed by Max on the last lap.
P8, yeah, because Max ended up in 7.
Yeah, but Vettel.
Vettel.
But he was kind of opposite. He had bad luck with the safety cars. Like, he was doing a great job holding Max up earlier, and then there was a virtual safety car, so he lost that place, and he didn't have the best luck in the race, but it was good to see the old dude, put it out there one more time. And it was really cool when it was Vettel, Hamilton, and Max in a row there in a DRS train. I'm like, man, that is a lot of championships in that row.
That was awesome. That was really awesome. Cool. By the way, we got the whole crew in there tonight in the chat.
I know they're chatting too fast. I'm not even showing. I gave up on showing the comments. I was like, there's too much stuff happening over there.
Gus says Chico instead of Checo, but that's all right. We'll take that. Chico.
Can we get to disappointment so I can unload here?
He's saying Checo.
Yeah, I know he is. I'm just messing with him. Chico. All right, fine, Vish. Who's your disappointment of the day? I wonder who.
Is it a disappointment if it brings me so much joy?
No.
This is an existential question.
Oh man,
my man George was awful. He blew it in qualifying first. He couldn't get into to P3. So then they took engine penalties. Like, what the hell? You're all the way back there anyway. And then he proceeded to screw up repeatedly and keep dropping to the back of the grid to the point that just like, screw it, let's put slicks on. He proceeds to hit, I think it was Magnussen, and then blame Magnussen for it. I mean, this dude put on a masterclass of
he's a mess.
Of insert profanity here. And finished 2 laps down. He was on a lap all by himself. No one else even finished 2 laps down. So he was just by himself on his own lap at the back of the grid. Masterclass performance from our boy there. I thoroughly enjoyed it though, so I wasn't disappointed in it. But for the chosen one that everyone likes to anoint, I never saw Hamilton punt around the track 2 laps down. I'll tell you that much.
That's right. Ain't that the truth, baby? Yeah. I mean, it's for me. You know what?
You could actually. I mean, so Ricardo went from 16th to 5th and was still terrible. You could throw that out there.
Yeah, but he's not my disappointment. I think that the disappointment for me was both Alpines DNFs. I think that they had a little bit of pace this weekend. They looked all right. Alonso actually looked really good. He was driving really well. I think he was in 6th when he had to DNF because of if I'm not mistaken, it was engine trouble, right? I think his engine blew up or something like that. But
yeah, I think both he and Ocon had engine.
Both had engine. Yeah. So Alonso was driving a brilliant race up in P6 when he was battling with Max. I think Max would have eventually overtaken him. I think, but yeah, I'm disappointed with what happened with Alpine. I'm gonna go with that with both of them. What about you, Moni?
Well, my disappointment. Okay. My disappointment was Russell because I knew that Fish was going to be happy. So as soon as I saw it happen.
Wow. So you're disappointed that I'm happy.
No, espérate.
Disappointed in your joy, man.
No,
this explains you strategically attending University of Miami football games that I'm not at. Now it's all coming together now.
Oh, wait. You're going to love this one. Guess who's not going this weekend?
No, es que, espérate. No, it's not that I don't want to. It's just that I have an unfortunate visit from multiple friends of mine.
Unfortunate. None of your friends here. You say that, all right?
Yeah. I didn't even know that you were coming down for this weekend.
This is broadcast. Your friends can watch it and hear you call this.
As a matter of fact, give us your friends
I want to send it to them. We can clip it and send it to them just so they get that part.
No, they know that I'm going to miss the UM game, and they know that I'm a little upset. So I'm going to take that.
Well, next month, Florida State.
Florida State. There you go.
I'll be there for sure. Don't worry about me.
Yep. And Gus is going to the game too. So Gus was going to be there. We were going to have a tremendous tailgate. Well, Gus will be there for FSU. He's not going to miss that one. So
we still have a tailgate, just no Moni.
Yeah, no Moni. That's all right. Well, maybe we'll do a cutout. A face cutout of Moni. That'll be funny. All right, Moni. All right, so it's George Russell. All right.
I think Gary showed up and started going football talk. Accurate football talk, but still football talk.
There will be plenty of seats. Yeah, no kidding. Overall impact of the championship, I think we went over that already. I think that it's a foregone conclusion at this point. I mean, it's
well, I think we can look at, because you referenced the Alpines. We can look at the constructors a little bit. Pull that up, because that did their performance coupled with Ricardo fluking his way into 5th, put McLaren back in front of Alpine. Because 4th and 5th is a lot of points when you're down in the middle of the field, and then zeros for Alpine. And the gap we last week talked about was going to be really hard to make up because you don't get a lot of points in 7th and 8th and all. They made it up in one race.
Can you imagine Ricardo gets out of the car and goes, "How do you like me now, McLaren? You're gonna miss out on this P5."
Yeah, so the problem with that is by the time he got to the finish line, Lando was already out of the car, drinking champagne, and was like on his way to Japan. It's like, oh, you crossed the line in 5th.
Oh my God! Hold on a second. Look what Evan said. Oh man, I don't know, Evan.
There's no way I could do that.
Yeah, Vish is not. I don't think Vish is gonna. Oh yeah, you'll be here.
Yeah.
No. He's talking about for the Japan.
Yeah, for Japan. Yeah, you will be
here. Watch party at Tu Candela at Bimbrico. Let's go. I'll set up.
We know where Moni's gonna be.
Well, Evan is manager at Ale House, right?
Yeah, he's a manager over at Ale House.
So he was offering to leave it open. Man, dude, you're still running on Saturday morning, right? There's no way I'm going to be awake at 1 a.m. on Sunday morning, technically, but
yeah, I'm still running.
yeah, there's no chance I'm going to be awake. I'm going home from
on
that.
Saturday night. On Saturday night,
Yeah, 1 a.m. is when the race
Sunday
is,
morning,
but
right?
it's Sunday morning, but Saturday night. Like there is no. I am coming back from that North Carolina game and passing the hell out.
I'm an insomniac. I guarantee you, I'll be awake. Listen, Evan, if I'm awake, I don't want you to hold it up just for me, man. But
you could open Ale House for Jazz to show up.
Don't open it just for me. But if I'm awake, yeah, I'm probably gonna be pretty destroyed.
Oh, look at this! Finally, West Coast gets hooked up.
TPM, I know, right?
Finally, after they get screwed on, literally, like when we were all like, "God, 8 a.m." He's got 5 a.m. So, so finally, it went Jack's way there.
That's true. Appreciate the love, though, Evan, man. We got to figure something out.
Yeah.
We got to figure something out for
sure. We'll
do
something. I'm gonna be in Miami periodically throughout the rest of the year, so we'll do something.
We still got the one in Austin, right? The other one.
What is that next week?
The USGP.
2 weeks, right? 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Yeah, you're not gonna be here.
Yeah.
Kick out the date before. I have to kick out the date before. No, man.
Gotta have priorities. Gotta have priorities.
Just make her watch it. Also, that's it.
Force her.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Listen to Moni. Moni is the voice of reason here. Force her. Tie her down and force her.
You got to make decisions,
So. If you want really bad advice, you got to come to me at all times.
Jack is gonna be tweeting you and DMing you. Hey, all right. So what do I do now? Oh man. All right. Moving along.
So I think the other thing to look at is we talked about this a little bit on Saturday, but you can see AlphaTauri to Aston Martin 7-9, only 3 points with Haas in the middle. That's also so. There's a couple of things to watch in the constructors that are really interesting because there's money slotted to each slot. So finishing 7th versus 9th is a significant money difference. So that does matter.
You know what's funny that I don't. You didn't even put the 10th team here. You just put 1 through 9. That's funny.
So my normal setup where I have like huge monitors and I can easily move around. I'm just working off a laptop right now. And so which I literally like I got here from the airport, ripped it out of my bag, plugged in a microphone, and just booted the thing up. So like I got no setup going. So it's actually
the irony of it, though. It's just
to toggle back and forth right now when normally I just have it on another screen. It's seamless. So I'm just like, I gotta go open this other thing up to scroll. Forget it.
Oh my god, that's funny. Look, but I want to talk about this first because before we get into Japan, because I think this is really important. I know, Vish, that you were pretty excited to talk about this also because you probably understand this budget cap, the cost cap a little bit better. So just to kind of talk about the ruling was supposed to be today. And the rumors are that Red Bull and Aston Martin broke the cost cap in 2021. So, and then you wrote here, I think it says Ferrari said even a minor infraction is worth 0.5 per lap. This is from last year, but it can also affect this year. However, the FIA decided to hold back on their ruling and are not going to rule just yet. Okay, talk to me a little bit about this cost cap and how that works and how it could affect possibly Max Verstappen, Red Bull, Aston Martin, the whole crew.
So last year was the first year they actually had a cost cap.
Okay.
I believe it was 150 or 145 million, something like that. So because it takes so long to get the accounting books in order and all that, they submitted the data in May for last year's budget to the FIA for analysis. And there's been rumors floating around the paddock for the last couple of weeks, like that Aston Martin did a minor overrun and Red Bull did a major overrun of the cost cap. So penalties for that can include anything from fines to points deductions to disqualifications from the championships. Now, keeping in mind, we're talking about last year's cost cap, and the championship was kind of close. A Red Bull points deduction, unless it's like a point or like 5 points, would be would switch the championship back to Hamilton. And so there's kind of a question on what to do with it. Red Bull says like they believe they were compliant, which basically means they cheated. So because they probably did some accounting trickery. And so the other teams are really upset because like Toto Wolff was pointing out, like we have new parts we can't pay for because of the cost caps. We just have to run the old parts, even though we know we can make the car go faster. But the cost to make them, we can't afford it this year. And if they're overrunning the cost cap, like they're just bringing new parts all the time and developing the car farther. And the reason they're saying there can be a knock-on effect is they went over the cap last year. You start designing last year's car, like next year's car already. So then it would have gone into this year's car as well. So there's all sorts of implication to this. Now, these are all rumors, right? So today we were supposed to get the FIA official report. This was their own deadline, by the way. No one said you have to do it by. They're like, yeah, we're releasing it. And then they released a statement saying they weren't, and they were going to do it on Monday. So the challenge here is it can't just be a fine, because the whole point is you overspent. These teams have unlimited money, right? The cost cap is to prevent them from spending, 2, 3, 4 times this amount of money because they can do it. So if you just fine them, like, oh, great, we'll break the cost cap and pay the fine too. What the hell do we care? So you got to do something that's not a fine. Because the whole point is they have so much money that we want to prevent them from spending it to gain too big of an advantage. So we're going to cap it. If you allow them to just pay a fine to get out of that, then it defeats the purpose. So I don't know what they're going to do. Assuming that, again, this is assuming that the finding comes into play. I would be shocked if anything came out that actually took the championship that Max won last year away from him.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to take it away.
Well, they've done stuff like that. They've disqualified drivers from championships like entirely. So they've done this type of thing before. And in fact, they went through a lot of this last year when they were when Mercedes was appealing the steward basically violating the rules, and like there was precedent for several months later taking championships away based on like appeals and rulings. The issue Mercedes had was there wasn't a good remedy here because it happened on the track. If it's someone that cheated, like they've disqualified cars before. Recently Ferrari was using that illegal engine. And
have they ever taken a championship from someone though?
I mean, yeah, Michael Schumacher got thrown out of the championship once. So yeah, no, it's happened. Now, does it happen here? I don't know. I don't know what the good answer is here. It depends on the nature of it, right? But it's not a luxury tax like they have in basketball where if you go over you pay a fine. It's supposed to be a hard cap. So if they went over, I mean, that's cheating. That'd
be funny though if what Jack said that they would have only gone over by 96 cents. That would have been something. If that's true, if that rumor.
I mean, that would not even be reported because they would just fudge the 96 cents. The screw cost.
It's 100 and what?
Yeah, Evan pulled the numbers up. I was doing it from memory. Let me get that. You guys are chatting too fast. We're defining. Here we go. So that's what it was. 150 last year. It's supposed to reduce over time.
The budget cap.
Yeah, and so there is actually in the rules there are tiers there. So 5 million or less is considered a minor infraction. 5 million over 5 million is considered a major infraction. Now you can get pretty much the same penalties for each, which is points deductions, fines, thrown out of the championship, depending. Right. So the rumors Red Bull did a major, which is 5 million over.
Woo!
At least, and then Aston Martin might have done a minor infraction, and then like you said, Matteo Binotto came out and said, even a minor infraction is worth like half a second a lap,
right?
So,
I mean, put it all together.
I mean, look, they're all causing a stink, right? Because they want Red Bull to get punished.
Sure. Well, but if Red Bull is screwing up and doing something illegal, then they deserve to be punished.
Yeah,
right?
and this is the challenge, right? If it's financial, no team is ever going to abide. Like the big teams will never abide by the cost cap because they can afford the financial. If it's punitive to like actually disqualify the team or take a significant amount of points away, that's probably, depends on the nature of it. That's probably a little too harsh. There's not a good answer here.
Yeah. Could they come back and be like, hey, we're going to punish Red Bull and take 100 points away?
It would they have to look at, it would probably be from last year.
Right.
That's the thing with the championship being decided on the last lap.
They can't really punish this year though, unless they do it again this year, obviously. But
right, if they do it again this year, but again, this is where I think you can't take anything any of these teams say at face value. But that's why Ferrari and Mercedes are like, No, it affects this year too, and they just
Yeah, of
want
course.
they want disqualified Ferrari from last year and this year, and Leclerc goes and collects his title. Right, that's what
Yeah.
Ferrari's looking for
Look,
right now.
listen, Ferrari. All right, with Ferrari, you don't deserve to win the championships this year. Let's stop with all that nonsense. Okay, stop trying to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Fernie's not wrong here. I think the issue I have with that is you had a championship last year that went right down to like the last lap, and if someone was cheating and won, I don't know how you let that stand. Like this is pretty black and white if they overspent the cap.
The only one that we knew that was really cheating last year was Michael Massey, right? That's the only one we know that was really
Well,
cheating.
I mean, he just didn't. He panicked and he was not up to the moment.
Right.
I think more so than intentional cheating. I think he just he choked.
Yeah, he really did. But anyways,
yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. So that's now coming out next Monday, and I think if they actually either way, it's going to be high drama because if they somehow come out with, I mean, these teams are all. It's not Ferrari and Mercedes are causing the most stink because they're the ones that are capable of going well over the cost cap. I forget where it was because the chat's going so fast. Someone earlier had said, Haas doesn't even spend close to their cap.
right.
So they're kind of like, but Mercedes and Ferrari are capable of spending way over the cap, and they didn't. So they're the ones that are complaining more so than anyone else. But the term that's been used is it's an open secret that Red Bull overspent. Right. So if they now come out on this report on Monday and say, oh no, they're all in compliance, everyone's going to lose their mind. If they come out and try to punish Red Bull,
well, they're going to try they're trying to create some drama, right? Like seeing if Max wins the championship this weekend, if he does, and then they come out with this boom, they hit Red Bull hard, or what I mean? I feel like that's what the FIA, that's what Formula One is trying to do.
Yeah, it's just there's not a good answer. Whatever they do is going to piss a lot of people off.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Either way, someone's not going to be happy.
Yeah, well, there's going to be drama on Monday because if they say that Red Bull didn't, everyone's going to be like, why are you supporting Red Bull? You fix this.
Yep.
Because we know they did. If they say they did and they don't give them a harsh penalty, everyone's going to say, well, we would have all cheated if we knew that was the penalty. And if they give them a harsh penalty to the point that it actually impacts their championship, was actually the only penalty that would get Mercedes and Ferrari to say, okay, that's good enough, then obviously everyone's going to lose their mind. So there's no right answer here other than to go back in time and tell Red Bull not to cheat, but you can't do that now. So,
we'll wait and see. We'll definitely have something for you about on that on Monday. So,
I'm just hoping it results in somehow George Russell getting banned. If we can get that out of this, if we can get that, I think he is a violation by himself. So Toto needs to be quiet until he gets that guy out of there.
Yeah, no kidding. Moving along, the race. It is Japanese.
Well, I guess we talked about this on Sunday. I don't know if Moni has thoughts on the driver movement, right? I didn't put it in the rundown.
Oh, you did? Yeah, you did. Oh, my bad.
No, I didn't. It's actually my bad. Because I didn't put it in the show notes as something to cover. So you're following the directions that I wrote it correctly. But
I'm like Ron Burgundy, man. I'm just reading what's on the board.
Wait till I give you the next ad call.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
But yeah, so I mean, it's all been confirmed. But you want to go ahead and
Moni, what are your thoughts? Gasly over to Alpine, Nick DeVries now with AlphaTauri. What are your thoughts on the moves?
DeVries makes enough sense to me. His move to AlphaTauri, it makes sense. I mean, when was it? 2 weeks ago? No, I'm sorry. 2 races ago that he raced.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
It would make sense that he goes to AlphaTauri, but especially after that performance. And then I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not that I'm not happy for Gasly or anything, but I was married to the idea that Danny Rick was gonna end up somewhere like Alpine. Okay, so I'm just a little bit disappointed because I got my hopes up for no reason, but I think that it's I think it's a good move on behalf of Alpine. I think Gasly has a really bright future, and I think he can achieve a lot as a younger driver. I feel like he has a lot of ground to walk with Alpine. So I think they're both good moves.
Yeah, I mean, the two Frenchmen, now the French connection over there at Alpine. It's all about the French there with Renault and them too, and Ocon and Gasly. So I think it is a smart move for them.
So you saw
Nick
the
DeVries
Danny.
is not that young, right?
No,
So
he's
like
28.
he's 28, so him going to
I was gonna say,
AlphaTauri,
he really isn't that young. I don't
yeah,
Yeah,
know.
no,
He gives me like younger.
yeah, he looks like he's 12. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. He looks like he's Dutch and he's like 5 or 6 years older than Max.
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
But yeah, for him it was either that or Williams, so he made the right
Right.
move.
yeah. I think it's the right move ultimately, but because then you've got Joe who is coming back to 2023 with Alfa Romeo. Um, and I think the other moves are what were the other moves?
Yeah,
Piastri's with McLaren. So
yeah.
Haas is probably looking at Nico Hulkenberg at this point. It
I
looks like
still
he's
don't
a
understand what he brings to
yeah,
them.
I neither do I, but it looks like he's the front runner. Jack Doohan is going to be the junior, not the junior driver,
Reserve.
the reserve driver for Alpine. Correct? Did I get that right?
I
Is
think
it for
so. Yeah.
Alpine? Yeah, for Alpine. So, and then it looks like maybe Logan Sargent. It might be the guy. They're still trying to get him at Williams, if I'm not.
Yeah,
if I'm
they
not
just
mistaken.
so I think he is kind of earmarked for that seat. He just needs to
Yeah.
finish top 5 in the F2 to get a super license. So they have to
Yeah.
wait for the season then. But
Right.
he's third right now, so it's looking good. If not, they're gonna have to plug someone else in there. I think
Money.
that
I'm
the
sorry.
big
We
thing
might
is
see the end. We might see the end of Danny Ricciardo in F1, man.
well, you saw what the rumor is for what he's going to be doing, right?
Rodeo in Texas.
No, there was actually it's actually a serious rumor, not that.
Oh, because I
Apparently,
can see him doing that too. By the way.
apparently he's going to be the Mercedes reserve driver,
Mm.
which is perfect for him because he doesn't actually have to drive the car, but he can be at every weekend and screw around and party and go, drink out of his shoe or whatever weird stuff he does, but not have to actually drive.
Well,
the
hey,
car.
if it happens the way you want to happen, right? George Russell could be out of a seat. You never know, right?
That's true, man.
And
Oh
in
my
goes
God.
Danny Ricciardo, baby.
Wait for George Russell to get COVID, and then like, oh, Danny Rick rises to the top.
I just know. Look, I have the perfect. Just give me give me 15 seconds. I have the perfect picture for this when it comes.
That would be. You know what? I think that's the right move for Danny Ricciardo.
Hold on. We're gonna go.
Yes,
that's this.
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
That is awesome. That is the perfect picture. You are right. That would be unbelievable, man. But that would actually be a really good move, Vish, for Ricciardo.
I mean, he doesn't have there's nothing else he can do, so he might as well sit around a Formula One paddock.
Why not go to one of the top teams and be the reserve driver there?
I mean, the reserve driver does nothing, so it's really just like being on this. No, because they used to do. The reserve driver used to be really important when they had unlimited testing.
Right.
They would spend every week, like during the week, they would drive the hell out of the car. In fact,
are they not adding more testing? Are they not adding more testing time?
No, when they usually do like junior like exceptions and stuff, which obviously Danny Rick can't. But no, the reserve driver used to be as important as the main drivers. Like the big teams, their third driver could easily have been in one of the other cars, but like, no, I get to drive a Ferrari all week or a McLaren all week. I'd rather do that, make those connections with the top team than like be screwing around in the back with like with like one of the back markers. So now you don't even get seat time. So
yeah, true.
But I mean, it allows them to stick around, and Mercedes does. They do McLaren, they do Williams, they do Aston Martin. So if there's an issue with any driver, he'll be there, and he can get just like DeVries. He got into that seat. He was actually hanging out with the Aston Martin hospitality, and they're like, "Oh, there's a problem. Well, we got a Mercedes drivers here, so go drive the Williams."
This will be the last thing on Ricciardo. What Fernie says. Ricciardo's a fan favorite, and he needs to be in F1. Yeah, but where? Right? That's the problem. Like, where is he going to go? What good is it going to do for him to go to a seat like Williams? It's not going to do him any good. He's not driving great anyways right now. So for him to go to a Williams and then be in the back of the field, like, what good does that do? Right?
Well, it's also the only seat that's open is Haas. It looks like it looks like it'll either be Mick or Nico. Now the problem is Haas doesn't pay money.
Right.
So Danny Rick has been making a lot of money for a lot of time, and I don't think he's going to go to a team that's not going to pay him a lot. You would think it should be enough just to be an F1.
I mean, he can get some endorsement deals, right? Especially an American team, he might be able to get some American endorsement deals.
Maybe, but he's not going to get the salary that
No, he's not going to get
McLaren
15
pays
mil.
him an insane amount, and before that, Renault did.
Right.
So he's been bringing, like, if someone pays you $15-20 million a year and now you're going to make like one, even if you're like, that's enough money because I already have enough, that's not how people's brains work.
Right.
It's like an insulting amount. So he's not going to do it. Like, they can't afford him.
That's true. That's true. Moving right along. Now we can get to it. It's the Japanese Grand Prix.
All right, bear with me as I try to pull this stuff up.
Yeah, I was looking at this earlier, the Suzuka International Racing Course. Some interesting things about it, right? Well, first of all, first Grand Prix there in 1987. Number of laps was 53 laps. I know there was a break during COVID, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, similar to Singapore.
Right?
They haven't been there since 2019.
In a couple of years. Okay, yeah, in a couple of years. So it's been a couple of years. The fastest lap, the lap record is Lewis Hamilton, minute 30. Another one of these longer circuits. It's a little bit longer, but here's what's interesting, right? Only one DRS zone in the whole track. But I'll be honest with you, just looking at the track right now, I kind of like it. I think it's a cool circuit. It's a cool just a cool track. I mean, you've got some straights. You've got a couple straights. You've got these wiggly, curvy little corners here. Corners 2 through 7, all the way actually to 8, and then you've got a couple chicanes into another hairpin. This is a really cool track.
And it's the only track that does a figure 8. It crosses itself. You go over the track and a bridge at another point.
Yeah, this is really cool. It's a really cool track. I think that, again, I want to say that this could be beneficial for one team over the other. I know Red Bull is the cream of the crop right now, but I think this is a track for a couple different teams. I think any of those top 3 teams could really do well on this track. Let's see here. How do you guys feel about the track? Who is it conducive to top performance? Is it a Red Bull track? Is it Ferrari? Is it Mercedes? How do you guys feel about these teams and how they would perform on this track?
You want to go ahead, Moni?
I know. Say I honestly, in my opinion, I think it would be a bit of a tighter race between Mercedes and Red Bull. This specific track, I think they might be able to perform a little better ahead of Ferrari. No offense, Jazz. Okay.
None taken. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I see the straights, so I see Red Bull being real productive in those straights. For me, Ferrari does does well in the corners, but I mean, so does Red Bull at this point. How do you guys feel? Vish, what's your thoughts on this track?
Yeah, it does feel like less of a Red Bull track, but I feel like everything's a Red Bull track because they're just faster than everyone else. But this is not one that's going to exaggerate their faster time. So, it's not like Monza or Spa where they're just going to kill everyone. So there is the only one straight. A lot of high-speed corners, so a lot of strain on the tires. So, whoever can manage that better. Again, they haven't been here since 2019, and new cars, new tires. So we'll see. They went with, I believe, the softest in the range. So we're gonna see, what kind of pit strategy comes into play here, because this is not a good overtaking circuit either. It's one of those ones where the drivers love it because you can see how technically challenging it is, and
it is.
It's fun to drive if you're a skilled driver, but those usually are also the tracks that aren't good for overtaking, because the ones where you're just holding the wheel going straight, that's where you overtake. So, that is that's my take. I think it'll be pretty competitive at the top. We've just had a lot of weird, races where we haven't really had all of the 3 top teams actually not be taking grid penalties or not mess up in qualifying and actually line up at the front. So I'm curious if that finally happens here.
I'm just seeing these things in the
I'm
chat
not
now.
showing any of those, and I'm not acknowledging them, Jazz. So I'm just leaving it alone. I'm leaving it alone.
They're so brilliant, Jack and Fernie.
I'm not comfortable
rocking
right
and
now,
rolling,
and
I
I'm just
love
gonna
it.
leave those alone.
Oh man,
and pretend like
people
they're
are
not
too
happening.
sensitive nowadays, but I get it. But it is funny, man. I don't care what anybody says. You guys are rocking it. You guys are doing awesome on the chat. I love it. I don't want to get started either. We're gonna have to have a chat offline in the Discord. All right. That's what the Discord. Evan, I'm still waiting on the Discord. By the way, I'm still waiting on that damn Discord link that you're supposed to put up. Get it together. Let's go. Red Bull will dominate. Yeah, I mean they always do. So that's not something that would surprise me. But
and Jack did give some big news. Latifi does have a 5-place penalty, so he's going to start 25th. I guess I don't know how that works, but
yeah, well, he's gonna have to start. He's not even in the pit. He's gonna have to be sitting up in the stands when everything starts, and then maybe he can get in this car, get into the paddock, get into the pit lane, and then go. I didn't see it, but that's all right. Either way. Yeah, so you mentioned tires, right? They are going to go with the softest compound, C1 through C3. Again, tire degradation, as you mentioned, Vish, I think is going to be important in this specific track because of the high-speed turns. So being said, and I know someone mentioned it earlier, guys like I hate to say it, but guys like Fernando Alonso, Checo Perez, these guys that know how to really take care of their tires, I think it could be start from his hotel room. Yeah, pretty much. I think it could be a solid race for those kind of guys. Again, Leclerc never is great on his tires, but he's good. He's good in these type of tracks, right? So he's good in these type of tracks, but that's going to play into, is it going to be a one stopper? Is it going to be a two stopper? Will we see an exciting race where we're going to have a lot of virtual safety cars? Considering there are a lot of high speed turns, you think that's going to play a factor in this race, guys?
So there's usually not a big safety. Yeah, I know, that's why I went. I'm watching. I'm paying attention here, man. What are we talking about? It's usually not a big safety car track because it's a traditional track. There's big runoff areas. There's gravel traps. So in theory, they shouldn't really need to bring out the safety car. Now, I strongly suspect they've been doing it on purpose to bunch the fields up and try to create drama. I think we saw that actually last weekend. I believe it was the first one where 100%. I forget who broke down first. I don't even remember anymore. But pulled up right next to like an exit area where they could just roll the car off. And rather than virtual safety car, they went full safety car. The car was out of the way in like 2 seconds, and that took forever to bunch the field back up. I can't remember exactly who it was.
I think it was Alonso, actually. I think it was Alonso.
Was he the one who DNF first? Whoever it was, like, carefully pulled up right in front of a gap in the wall to avoid the safety car, and they threw the safety car anyway.
Yeah,
so
I think it was Alonso.
So
yeah, they had to lift it up with a crane and get out, right?
No, this one they rolled it out. The reason that it took so long to get going is they had to bunch the field back up. Like it
might have not been Alonso then, yeah.
Yeah, no, Alonso wasn't the first one to DNF. Whoever DNF first, pulled up right next to an exit, and they just had to like roll the car. And they didn't do virtual safety car because the marshal had to come around the barrier to push it.
Right.
But so there could be a safety car. I don't think there's. Let me put it this way: I'd be surprised if there was a necessary safety car.
True.
But there could be some VSCs, and they could throw a safety car anyway for the show. You can't predict these things anymore because they make rules up and they don't use the cars, the safety cars as intended. So
it's true. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Moni, your thoughts on the tire compound that they are using and how you think it'll affect this track based off of some drivers, as we mentioned, like guys like Checo and Fernando Alonso, they're good when it comes to managing their tire degradation. Some aren't, but some are faster than others, right? So you got the Ferraris that are pretty quick, but don't necessarily manage their tires as well as some of the others. How is that going to affect some of these drivers?
Well, Vish, I don't know if you mentioned it or not. You tell me. I got lost for a second. Did you mention whether you thought it was going to be a one stopper or a two stopper?
I did not, and I have no idea.
Me either. I mean, that's what I'm saying. To be entirely honest with you, when it comes to this Grand Prix, I do feel a little bit of a disconnect because it's been 3 years since they've been there, since they've raced there. So so I feel that there's so many I guess you could say that there's a good amount of things up in the air about how the race and how the cars will behave on the track after 3 years. So, to be honest, Jazz, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm really not sure how it might go down, and that's where my um, I guess my doubt is. It's just that they haven't been there in 3 years, so I don't really know. As Vish said previously, um, new cars, new tires. So I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I think that I think again it's going to help some of the ones that obviously know how to maintain their tires a little bit better. So we'll just have to wait and see. Especially when we can see is obviously well, whenever anybody wants to watch, because I'm not watching at that at all on ungodly hours to watch FP 1, 2, and 3. So not
Yeah,
doing that.
these are rough ones.
Yeah. Speaking of that, speaking of that, here it is, Vish. Timing of the sessions. First one, FP1, 2,300 hours. That is 11 p.m., folks, for the Americanos that wanted to stay up to watch FP1. I might watch that one, right? It'll be Friday night. I'm sorry, Friday night at 11 p.m. If I'm not doing well, I gotta run in the morning, so might have to miss that one. But,
Yeah, I was about to say you're staying up. You're gonna be watching at
I
midnight,
might.
like
I'll be
watching
honest with you, I might. I don't
FP1
know,
at the
man.
Japanese Grand Prix.
I don't sleep, dude. I don't sleep sometimes.
We gotta
so
be
I
there
might
by
up.
7, man.
I know, but I might be up. I don't know. Who the hell knows? FP2 is at 2 in the morning. Not going to happen. FP3 is again at 11 at night. That one might be more
Wait.
feasible.
So hold on. I think FP1 is actually Thursday night.
Yes, I'm sorry. October
6th.
Yeah, October 6th is Thursday. You're right.
So
My
that's
bad.
tomorrow night.
Okay, I'm watching that one. FP2 and FP3 I'm not watching because they are in the middle in the early morning hours and then late at night, which is probably not going to happen. Then you got qualifying at 2 in the morning, which I'm not.
Yeah, I was about to say if you do that, then go run a
that's
5K in like an hour after that. That would be impressive, but probably not smart.
No chance.
They're so rough, man. They're so
No chance. And the race is at 1 a.m. So
you know what though? I feel like they probably get every other race the other way around. So
true. That's true. So why not give them one, right?
brutal. We have to sacrifice our lives, It's
Vish, the weather. Listen, they might get a little bit of rain, right? 85% chance of rain on Sunday night. Saturday night, another 30% chance there, and then
it's changeable. So the last I saw was probably no rain Saturday, probably rain Sunday throughout the day, which of course includes the race,
right. and at night just in case. But
but they don't.
Right.
So this is so. I think one of the interesting things with Singapore is because it was a night, the track didn't dry.
Yep.
So that caused problems here. The track should dry, so it might be more of a go to slicks, back to inners if it rains again type of thing.
Real quick, Jack, send us a DM on Twitter, and I'll send you the Discord for you to get in on that.
Yeah, for the chat's not letting us put links in there. Yeah. It's eating them. I think it's spam or whatever. So.
Yeah. Can't make one. Yeah, no, man. I'm an old man already, dude. Thanks, Fernando, for telling everybody.
I have a question. I mean, this is more of a parenthesis type of situation of the night, okay? But where's Seven Sail House?
It's the one in
it's right by the falls.
Yeah, right by the falls in Kendall, off of US.
You call that Kendall?
Yeah, well, technically it is off of
that's not Kendall.
Like Pinecrest. I guess it's kind of Pinecrest. It's Pinecrest.
It's Palmetto Bay, I think.
Palmetto Bay,
the other side of 136. But
right.
Kendall, you think west, right?
By the falls.
When people say Kendall, they think west, right?
West.
Yeah, this is south Palmetto Bay, off of like 130, 136 in US
Yeah,
one, more or
it's
less.
south of Dadeland.
Ah, okay.
South of Dadeland.
Thank you. Proceed.
There you go.
Is that Pinecrest? I feel like it was on the other side of 136 on the Palmetto Bay side. But anyway,
it is. Who cares? Whatever. It's fine. Yeah, Vish lives down there. He's
this is my hood. You came right into my hood.
Yeah. Don't talk to Vish about what's what around there, right? Everyone's take. Let's talk about it. Who are your drivers to watch, Moni? We'll start off with you.
Sorry. My drivers to watch in Japan, right? Well, okay, I'm gonna have to go basic one more time, and I'm just gonna say Checo. Okay. No. To be honest, I think I'm gonna have to go with both Checo and Leclerc, just because there's a very small gap between the two of them. So I feel like it can get really interesting. Also, I was thinking, let's say for whatever reason, Max doesn't win in Japan, and he doesn't win the next one, and he doesn't win the next one, right? Maybe this is like an alternate universe type of situation. But just bear with me. Just give me one moment, all right? I believe that at this point, let's say if Leclerc he kept winning, or like he won a couple of races, he technically, realistically speaking, he would be the only one in a position to block Max from being the F1 champion, right? Again, this is like an alternate world, universe, okay? But I'm definitely going to be watching both Checo and Leclerc just to see. And also, as I told you guys a little bit earlier, I feel like sometimes it's more of a flip of a coin with Checo. Like I'm not willing to put my money on him every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be watching them too. Those are my two drivers to watch.
Fair enough. What do you got, Vish?
So I'm going Yuki, home race.
Ah, yes.
He has not been able to race there because this GP wasn't there. So let's see how he does. And he's now the number one driver at AlphaTauri, so he's got to step up here a little bit. So I'm interested to see what he does. And the other one I'm looking at is Danny Rick, just to see how bad he does.
They're so bad.
I'm being semi-serious because actually there's some logic behind that. Obviously, half the time I'm being sarcastic, but in this instance, that McLaren finally got back in front of Alpine. He's been the weight that's been pulling them down because Norris has been performing. Right. See if he can actually he's got to get into the points because Norris can beat Alonso and Ocon, but he can't beat them by enough to beat their cumulative points.
Right.
So Danny, the constructor position there is all on Danny Rick. He's got to pull performances out of that car. So that's why I'm watching him. More so the sarcastic comment about how slow he is. I think he's in that 2-team battle for fourth. He's the one that's going to make the difference. If he can perform, McLaren should finish ahead of Alpine. If he can't, then then they're probably going to finish behind him. So he's the key because the other three you kind of expect to deliver points.
Right. Vish, so I'm sorry, Jack. So Vish does not hate Danny. I think he actually likes him. He's just been disappointed with the way he's driven. But if there's anybody that Vish does not like,
I mean, it's definitely George Russell, but
he drives the number 63 car for.
Okay. So obviously, look, I'm a McLaren fan. Right, I wanted Danny Ricciardo to do well. My issue was how everyone was like, a lot of my hatred comes from reacting to stuff other people are doing. And in this case, it was just like, you can't fire him. He's so good. I'm like, this man has been terrible. What are you watching? Yeah. So now I'm like exaggerating because, like I said, half the stuff I do is sarcastic anyway, not serious. Like I hope he goes and wins the damn race. But unlike George Russell, I want that dude to DNF every race for serious. But no, I want Daniel Ricciardo to do well. But he hasn't been able to put those performances in. And people are acting like he's still the person that was winning races at Red Bull and, doing well at Renault. And he's way off the pace. And that's what I'm kind of exaggerating a reaction to that.
Gotcha.
George Russell, on the other hand, I hate that man.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
There's no asterisk by that one.
Excuse me. Yeah, Jack. That would be. I think he might. I think he just might.
You know what? It's too culturally like on brand.
True. Yeah.
So he won't be wearing the kimono this week. He probably wore it like last week. Actually, Singapore is still a little too close. So maybe like in Italy, you put the kimono on. I think it doesn't stand out enough to wear the kimono.
He wants to be able to stand out, to be different. Anyways, all right, so there's two things I want to watch. The same thing that Moni said. I wanted to watch that battle between Checo and Leclerc for essentially number 2 and number 3 in the drivers championship. I think it's going to be fun to watch them both go at it again this week. And then secondly, I kind of like you, Vish, right? So I took a little bit of Moni's and I'm taking a little bit of yours. I really want to see Yuki do well in Japan, man. Like you said, it's his home race. He's probably going to be really excited to be there to see his fans. And unfortunately, he's in not such a great car. But listen, he's had his moments where he's been half decent, right? So I think that for him to kind of come out not for his engine to explode, and for him to to him, here's the problem with Yuki, right? Like he lets the emotions get the best of him sometimes, and so he tends to kind of push a little bit where he shouldn't push, and he tends to get in his own head, right? And that's where you see him making a lot of mistakes. I actually think Yuki's a pretty damn good driver. I just think that he needs to kind of control himself and kind of relax with his emotions and keep them in check. And I think he could be all right. So I really want to see him be successful this weekend also. So I'm going to steal one from each of you. I agree. Let's go into well, I guess the teams to watch. Yeah, this one. I'll start off with this one. A team for me to watch this week is this weekend is I think Mercedes for me. With Lewis Hamilton, still being pretty good, right? Like we all wanted to see if he was actually gonna get on top and win last week. Obviously, he was battling and he was competitive, but I don't think he had the pace to be there. And then this weekend, I think that with George Russell having his issues last week, and doing almost exactly what Vish wanted him to do, I'd like to see how Mercedes responds this week in Suzuka, to see if they can kind of put together a really good showing and compete for for a podium this weekend. So I'm going to go with Mercedes. What about you, you guys, Vish? We'll start with you, Vish.
I'm going to go with Alpine. Actually, Fernie wouldn't put it in. You know what? I will pick another one, Moni, and I will let you do Alpine. I was torn between two of them, so I'm going to do the other one. So I'm going to do Aston Martin. They double points finished the last. No, I had two, and I just picked Alpine, and I can actually do Aston Martin just as easily. So you can have Alpine. I'll do Aston Martin. So they double points finish. There's that logjam we saw 37, 34, 34 in the points. If they can do another double points finish, that might actually be enough for the rest of the season to get up into 7th. So I'm watching them. And also, I've made no secret that I really respect Vettel a lot, and there's only a few races left, so I'm watching him, just hoping he can pull something. The car has been bad, and frankly, so is really since he retired. Like he figuratively retired at the end of the season, but it felt like once he retired, he stopped driving the car too. But he was good last week, so I'm going to be watching the Aston Martins. Moni, surprise us with what you picked.
Okay, Vish, I'm going. Well, I think I'm gonna have to be watching Alpine. In case you guys didn't expect that, yes, Alpine. And I'm mostly interested in seeing how they're perfect, how they're going to be able to recover from Singapore, if at all. I think the grid got a bit messed up because there were more than a handful of DNFs in Singapore. So I would like to be able to see how, maybe teams like McLaren and Alpine, I guess, react to maybe a fuller grid with hopefully less DNFs in Japan. So I'm mostly going to be watching Alpine. Digo, sí, Alpine. But I'm also interested in seeing what McLaren could accomplish in Japan. I guess I could say I have a little bit more faith deposited in Lando, but it would also be interesting to see Danny Rick accomplish anything interesting in Japan. So Alpine and McLaren.
By the way, last week nobody got anything right. So let's just put it that way.
I got look. George Russell DNF'd as hard as you could without DNFing. I want like a quarter point.
All right, you get a quarter point. I'm the only one that didn't have Max on the podium out of us. So I had Leclerc and Sainz, so I had two of them, but then I had Hamilton. So yeah, nobody got it right except Evan got Hamilton over Russell. Fern almost got it right. Ricardo beats Lando. Almost, man. Almost.
Yeah, if he made up like a 45 seconds, he would.
Yeah, all he needed was another 45 seconds tap. And Joe in the top 7, obviously not even a chance. So
Moni wasn't on and did not give us her predictions. So
no,
and was completely honest and said she did not have Checo because she could have totally lied about it and I would have bought it.
No, miren, te los juro. I literally look. Miren, I swear.
Who did you have?
I have my Bible here. Where is it?
Her Bible.
I'm gonna show you guys. Look, I really put. A ver, espérate. Okay. Mira, si ves, Leclerc, Sainz, and Hamilton.
Oh, that's what I had. Epa.
En serio?
Yep, we had the same thing.
That's so cute. Yeah, I didn't have Checo, guys. All right, I didn't. So whatever.
There you go.
I'm original tap or whatever.
By the way, Vish, is it the Japan GP or is it the Japanese GP?
Japanese.
It is. Okay. I'm saying it right. Just want to make sure. Never know with these people. Formula One. Moni, we're going to start off with you since we missed you last week. What do you got?
And that way you can't say we stole your pick. So
right,
go for
exactly.
Okay. I think. Espérate. I think I wrote one of them down.
Japanese.
Okay. So
not showing that either, by the way.
I think
it's not that bad.
You know what? I want to go with Leclerc P1. Just because
from your mouth to God's ears.
Just because I do want to see a little bit more of a spicy situation in Formula One. You know, it can't just end like this. It can't. I want to see more. You know what? Let's carry it out. Let's just drag it out. So I'm going to go Leclerc P1. I'm going to go Max P2. And I'm going to go Checo P3. And my surprise is Yuki top 5.
Hey. That's a good surprise. That's a good surprise. Vish, what do you no, hold on. Let me write down what Fern says here. Max, Leclerc, and Checo. All right. What do you got, Vish?
So in the grand tradition of me just making stuff up at this point because I'm never correct, I'll go Hamilton first.
Hey, first victory of the season.
Yeah, he's gonna keep his streak alive. Max second, Leclerc third, and George Russell DNF.
You're gonna do it until you get it right, man.
There's like 4 races left after this. It's half again. I will say Max is obviously gonna win the championship. It will kind of suck if he wins at like 2 a.m.
I know.
I'm kind of hoping it goes another race so that way we're at least
that's what I'm saying. Knock on wood, please.
Oh man. Okay. What do I do here? I'm gonna go with. I just need to see my boy win another one. I need to see Leclerc win another race this year. Okay. So I'm gonna go Leclerc P1. I'm going to go with. I'm gonna go Hamilton in P2 and Max P3.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
I'm gonna go with that. So Moni kind of stole my thunder on Yuki. I was gonna go top 10 Yuki, but I'll change it. I'm gonna go with God, this is tough. But you mentioned them earlier, Vish. So I'm gonna go with Vettel top 7. Okay, I'm gonna go Vettel top 7.
I gotta say, you guys are throwing a surprise face because I would have accepted like just Yuki finishing ahead of Gasly and Vettel just scoring points, but you guys got aggressive.
Yeah, we got aggressive with it. What the hell, right? So that'll
Did you
work.
get all this in the chat? There's
No,
quite a few
I'm getting
praises
it.
floating.
Max got Max. Gus got Max, Leclerc,
Well, did you get
and
Evan first?
shit,
I'll show them on the screen. I know you got Fern already, right?
Max Checo and Leclerc.
Okay, and then Gus has Max
Yukita.
Checo Leclerc with Yukita surprise. Didn't say what
Whatever,
he was going to
whatever
surprise
that
with.
means.
Evans surprises Lando top 5.
Evans, hold on, Max. I got Evan got Max Checo and Leclerc.
And then Lando top 5. And then Jack Scott, Max Checo, Sainz, Hamilton, Charles. He just gave us his top 5.
Max Checo, Sainz. And let's put nope, that's not a surprise. All right, never mind. Top 5. All right. Well, and Fern give us a
He did. I thought you wrote down earlier you didn't get this one.
I didn't get a surprise though. I think
Fern, what's your surprise pick?
We like to do this.
Yeah.
I have to do something later on with that.
I feel like next year we should like keep standings.
We should. We definitely should. Yeah, because we started too late. We started.
Yeah,
late.
we also like weren't. Yeah, I mean the show went through some evolutions throughout the year. We had some development. We developed the car, and now it's kind of hitting on all cylinders. So
it's starting to get there. So
and we definitely didn't exceed the cost cap because we don't get paid.
No, we didn't.
We spent $0.
That's for sure. By the way, guys, I know some of you already know this, but you can go on to some of those. So we have some of those links. I don't know if we have them on the description for this show, but if you guys still want to donate for hurricane relief efforts to the 3 charities that we mentioned previously.
So
last
actually,
week.
if you go to my Twitter, our original feed is still pinned there.
Awesome.
So if you click through that on YouTube, you'll see the links to the charities you can donate to.
There you go. They are Friends in Service Here. FISH is the acronym for that. The Harry Chapman Food Bank and the Valerie's House as well. So make sure you check those out. Donate. We will be putting together a fundraiser with Tony Schwartz from the Miami Heat podcast on 5 Reasons Sports, and Lex and some of them over on Miami Flow Media as well. So we'll give you some more information on that soon.
You know what? I lied. I pinned another show to it, but it's also in that description. So it's not the original one, but we're putting it in all of our channels.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, if you look at my pinned tweet and click to the YouTube link, it is part 1 of our show for Monday because Dono killed the stream in the middle.
Ricardo top 7 for Fern. How about that, huh?
Whoa.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. And Jack goes Vettel top 7 like me. I like it, Jack. I like it. Anyways, guys.
And it's Fat Bear Week, so it is
Fat Bear Week.
The voting is open, man. The voting is open.
32 and 584 for me, man. 32 and 584.
All right, so I'm all in on 901 and her first round matchups tomorrow. I got to remember to get in there and vote.
901 from Memphis, Tennessee, baby. 901.
The voting has started. The first bracket is like today. The left side, you got to vote on it. So you got until I don't know how long, but tomorrow's the right side.
Please send the link again. Post the link up.
The Fat Bear Week link.
Yeah, please post it up so we can all vote on it.
All
Actually, post it in the Discord. Moni, where are you? Are you in the Discord? You better get in there.
Hold on, I'm gonna throw it right in here. So
I put it in our WhatsApp. I'll put it in our WhatsApp too.
Well, here I'm gonna put it right here in this chat, so everyone can go vote for Fat Bear Week. We're supporting 901, or at least I am. So that's my bear.
Speak for yourself.
That's my bear. So this is Fat Bear Week, and you go in there and you vote for your Fat Bears. So it's a bracket, kind of like college basketball, where there's a bracket, you advance to the next round. So there's a week of them. So basically, what happens is the Bears go into hibernation when they're skinny, but they plumped up and they come out fat, and then they have a bracket. It's at a national park in Alaska, but it's obviously
854 versus the 151. Jeez, these are some fat bears, man.
That is so cute.
Yeah, so you vote, and it's like over the week. So after like the first round's going on now, then they advance, and you keep voting, and I think the finals is next week. So,
dude, 901 is big, man.
901 I'm a fan of because she was. I read all the bio. She was a badass as a sub-adult. She like claimed her territory when she wasn't even a full adult, and she's been rocking it. It's time, man. It's time for her to win.
1 huge.
This is so much fun. All right, guys.
No,
Dip
the
it.
other thing, dude, Jack, that show was like 2 hours long.
It felt it was actually only an hour, but it felt long.
Oh, it wasn't only an hour?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We had some people back out last moment that couldn't make it, so it was kind of hard to keep it going.
We
Plus,
do
it was a
actually-
Friday night, so
Yeah,
Friday
but
night.
for that show, we also have a podcast which we promoted it on.
Yeah.
I put a little intro in there asking people to donate and put the links in there as well. So
But
hopefully,
like I said, we'll be doing a fundraiser for it, so just keep an eye out for that. We'll be posting that soon.
yeah, and we'll continue to promote those charities across all of our shows that Jazz and I are doing, just to make sure there's because people can still donate. So even though the show is over, there's still a chance to donate. Oh, the other thing, more sports related locally, Inter Miami won. They're officially in the MLS playoffs for the first time.
That's
So
insane.
that game just ended. So
Insane. Are you
Congratulations.
that I literally never thought I would see that for the next 5 years. I'm not exaggerating.
That was awesome. I know.
Yeah.
Congratulations to.
Good for them. Good for them.
yes, but more importantly, it's Fat Bear Weeks.
I don't know, man. 32 chunk is looking good. 32 chunk.
So, oh god. So I told you one of my friends is like an expert on this stuff, and she's like, he's too pugnacious. He's not going to win. And I'm like, if you use the word like pugnacious with me, I'm convinced. So I like to bring out the big words. I was like, man, I guess I'm surrounded by people like me. But all right. So I went with 901 because I love Chunk and I love the name. The name is strong.
There's Fat Bear Jr. too.
Yeah, no, that was last week, and then the winner of Fat Bear Jr. advances to the main bracket.
Gotcha.
So Fat Bear Jr. was last week.
I gotta find this bracket. I can't find the bracket though. Meet the Bears, press. I don't see the voting, right? The voting.
Yeah,
but it won't let me. It won't let me click on it.
What is happening here? Hold on. I voted earlier today.
This has turned into Fat Bear talk here.
Well, I mean,
hitting the apex, baby.
Well, I hijacked the Kane show, and so now. So these are the descriptions for the Bears. Here, Fat Bear Week voting page. So if you click Meet the Bears and then click the voting page, there you'll see it.
Fat Bear, Meet the Bears. What the hell?
Is today's voting, and there's the brackets. Today's voting already done. There's like a window you can vote in.
Oh, Meet the Bears and Fat Bear Week. Okay. Oh, Fat Bear Week voting page. That one, right?
Yeah. So, so I think today's already done. So tomorrow at noon. I don't know how long you have to vote, but tomorrow at noon it'll open back up.
All right.
And yeah, 901. That's my champion.
I gotta check and see what happens here.
She's got a cupcake in the first round. She's got the junior, and the juniors just aren't fat enough.
151. Yeah, 151's not. But 901. No, 854 has got 151. Yeah. Oh, I see. The 909 is a junior.
Yeah, it's the yearling. It's the one that advanced out of Fat Bear Junior. Oh, look, yeah, this one is done because we got some eliminations here. 856 and 335 are grayed out. They got dropped.
Wait, so did 854 beat 151?
That's tomorrow's vote. So you got to get in there and vote.
Okay.
So the left side was today. That's why you can see like the grayed out ones. So 335 and 856 lost. So 747 is going up against Chunk. That's
747 looks like a 747.
Man, 747 against Chunk is going to be a battle.
Oh my God, yeah. There's Chunk is my guy. And then 854 too, man. 854 is a big mama jumma. All right. I'm sorry, guys. We gotta get out here. I can't believe what this show has turned into.
I mean, this is what when you get me, you get the whole package. Like whatever's on my mind, I'm gonna say. So this week it's Fat Bear Jr., so it infected all the shows I'm on.
Whoever's still on with us, if you guys want to hear about 15, 20 minutes of Fat Bear talk next week, please let us know.
If Miami loses to North Carolina, that might just be Monday's show. Yeah, we're not talking about that. We're going to talk about Fat Bear Jr.
Oh, Jesus.
For Fat Bear Week.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, we're going to win.
Hey, by the way, we got our post-game show tomorrow, so really excited about that. Blue is returning next Monday, baby.
Oh,
the show. Back. Yes, he is. Anyways, make sure you follow us on Twitter at F1_5 Reasons. You can check us out there. You can obviously check us all out on Twitter as well at VRP 2003 at Jazz Santana and at Moni Lebro. Those are our Twitter handles as well. So make sure you keep it locked there for probably stupid takes of mine and Bish and whatever. But it's fun. We're here every Wednesday night, 9 o'clock p.m. on 5 Reasons Sports on the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. And this is freaking Jack is too much, man. He is too much. I thought you guys were talking about Beto's dad bod. Oh boy. Make sure you keep it locked here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Hitting the Apex on the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. And, of course, post-race show will not happen this weekend. So make sure you guys understand that.
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of Red Bull and Max fans.
We won't be up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
We don't want him to win this week because we want to actually, celebrate his title on the show right after he wins it and not happen at 3 a.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, so don't count on that. But hopefully we'll give you some content either way moving forward. And then, of course, Monday night, Six Rings Kane show and all the other stuff we got going on this weekend. So just keep it locked on Twitter for all.
And we'll keep you updated on Fat Bear Week.
We will.
The finals are next week, so there's the serious business.
Yeah, now I'm all in on Fat Bear Week. Unbelievable.
And you were making fun of me when I first introduced it. It's cool as hell.
My fantasy teams suck anyway, so I might as well get something else going. So it's Fat Bear Week. Unbelievable. Moni, thank you so much for joining us. Even though you're under the weather, we always appreciate it.
Yeah, she played hurt.
Yeah, she did. She's a trooper. So, and Vish, thank you. Another great show down in the books. Make sure you keep it locked, and we'll be back for you next Wednesday nights.